So today I want to talk about division, separatism, and isolation in today's society. In our world, in our daily existence in 2025, unfortunately, you can't get away from these themes of being divided and being separated from one another. And now, why am I going on about all this randomly? I want to talk about quite the opposite, to be 100% honest with you, because why are we divided? Me and you, me and the viewer, why are we divided? Why should we be separated? Why do we have to be partisan and so against one another in today's day and age? Because you, like me, probably go to work every day. You know, you, like me, have bills, have obligations, have a family, have this, that, and the third. You know, we're in the same category. Normal working people. Not to sound like a politician here, but normal working people. Why do we hate one another? What has us going at each other's throats constantly, day in and day out? Why are people so divided? I'll tell you why. The masses are divided because that's what the powers that be want. Because why would they want that? Why do they want people to hate one another? Because there is a divide and conquer virtue that our society values dearly. United we stand, divided we fall, okay? It's very simple. You know, these platitudes, these quotations that are everywhere, this country was founded on was unity. You know, like, you get enough men together, angry men, who are unified, have the same enemy, have the same goals as one another. That's a revolution. And we can't have that because a revolution is a threat to the major establishment. And I am in no way, shape, or form advocating for violence or political extremism or militias, alienation. We don't need that. That hurts the cause and what we should be trying to accomplish together. I'm trying to make a case for brotherhood. I'm trying to make a case for people getting along and to do away with this polarization of one another that's been very prevalent within the past 10, 15 years. You know, we have people going at it over nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like, literally hating one another over objective shit that is so far removed from who we are and what actually should matter to us. Like, we're having the wrong conversations and duking it out over literally fucking peanuts. You know, we got to go for the whole pie. We got to actually, like, make a case for stuff that's important. United we stand, divided we fall. I mean, that should be our credo. We need to get along with one another and look out for each other. I saw something interesting the other day, and it was illustration of a political horseshoe. So basically, you flip the horseshoe over, you've got the surface level, the top, left and right, you got the center, and then you've got, like, the political extremes on the far left, the far right. But the horseshoe kind of curves and goes down, and let's imagine it's not a circle because they're not connected, but there is kind of like this bridge area in the middle where there's room for centrism, where it's like, okay, you're an extreme communist, I'm an extreme fascist. You know, there's also a room for whatever depiction you may want to insert there. But I think that the solution is kind of in the middle of those two extremes in a way. Not on the surface level with the normies fighting over shit that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I think the far left, the far right, they both recognize at least that there's an elite class, the 1% that is in control of everything, who that is what we should be going after. Those are the people who are creating problems and conflict and want us divided. Because if we're divided, we're not able to unite and recognize that we're getting fucked over by these same people. Whether you're a liberal, whether you're a conservative, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't fucking matter. Those parties are made up. Those parties are two sides of the same coin, alright? You may have your disagreements. I'm telling you to put them aside and unite with people who could be allies and who could help our cause to fight against the people who are fucking us over at the top. Ultimately, there needs to be a cultural revolution in this country. Because as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the stupid shit that the conversations that we're allowed to have don't get us anywhere. I mean, how fucking long, how many election cycles have they been going at, like, oh, abortion, abortion, abortion? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. And I'm religious. I don't give a fuck, okay? Because at the end of the day, no one's going to get what they want. No one's going to be happy. The only person getting what they want is the people hosting those debates, wasting and running airtime on those debates, because they don't want you to talk about, instead of, oh my god, who fucking makes a little bit more every year? Oh my god, who's white privilege, this, that? How about who owns everything? Who owns these networks? Who owns the banks? Who owns our foreign diplomacy? I mean, come on. What the fuck is going on? Why is our tax money going to places that it shouldn't be? Why are we getting taxed more when we were promised being taxed less? Why are barbarians invading this country and we're just letting them in? Why won't they release these fucking Epstein files? Donald Trump won't tell you why. Joe Biden won't tell you why. J.D. Vance won't tell you why. And Gavin Newsom won't tell you why, because they're in on it. They're disingenuous. They're sellouts and self-serving and will cut you out. They don't have your side. So why would I vote for one of them? Why would I choose to die on that hill for somebody who doesn't care about me, and I won't associate and talk to socialists or Nazis? Or at least they ask these questions. At least they have a clue in their mind as to what actually matters. The people who built this country, who keep the lights on, who put food on the table, we are getting screwed over time and time again at every turn. Doesn't matter if you voted for Trump. It doesn't matter if you voted for Biden. You are getting decimated. So what's the solution? Well, this is kind of part of the solution, and I'm just trying to shed light on it. We need to put our differences aside, stand up with one another in solidarity, hold hands, and fucking go at it together. Left and right need to unite against the 1% and the major elite in this country. The current administration I voted for because I thought I was doing the right thing. I was caught up in the hustle and bustle of day-to-day bullshit. I was going at it with people who I ultimately shouldn't have been. I mean, people who are like you are not your enemy. Think about that. I mean, in this country, we're so scared we can't even recognize and organize with one another because we're too scared to be labeled racist. I mean, white people are scared of their own shadow. That is an issue that, if left unresolved, is going to lead to the downfall of what founded this country and who our country's ultimate identity is. And this isn't a radical racial purity thing, but I'm just saying you got to be able to recognize that this country, the culture, the values, was European settlers, all right? It's not to say that we can't have Mexican Americans or Black Americans or anything like that, but I'm just saying you need to respect your foundation, and we haven't. We've let that... It's gotten away from us completely, where the people who founded this country would be horrified. Because the people who run this country now do not reflect what it was founded on whatsoever. We need to recognize that, left and right. We need to put those differences aside, and we need to fight back together. And hey, look, that's just like my opinion, man. But unfortunately, it's hard. It's extremely difficult to get along and put your differences aside with one another. I mean, in this country, the propaganda runs so deep that they'll lie to you and they'll tell you the exact opposite of being an individualist and being out on your own is the American thing to do. That's the noble thing to do. There's no nobility in poverty, okay? We're letting the minority control for the majority. It doesn't have to be that way. But it is extremely difficult. I mean, the way society is structured is designed to keep people isolated and separated from one another, from sharing these ideas. There's censorship. And the way that, your economics work as well, your rent is 90% of your wage. If you have a car, then there goes the rest of it. What's left? What's left for food? What's left for creating everything? There's no opportunity to unify. And then in your personal life, you've got your girlfriend who hates your friends. You've got your family. If you have siblings, you all move out separately. Like, nobody nobody works together anymore. It's frustrating to see, and that's what I'm observing and commenting on. It just doesn't need to be this way at all. And it could change, but is it going to? I have no idea. I mean, I'm just sending this message so that people can kind of recognize that, and maybe it'll change the way that they see a lot of stuff. All I want you to take away from this video, it's cut up, it's shitty, it's whatever. I just want you to take away this. Put your differences aside, unify, and focus on the bigger picture. Because the stuff that you get caught up in, it's moving in the wrong direction away from what you should be going after. So talk to people on the left, talk to people on the right. Don't worry about that, because that doesn't matter. People who are the majority, those are the people that you want to talk to. What the rich elite are talking about, I wouldn't worry about it, because it's all there to divide and conquer and separate you. So pay no mind to that. I'm going to wrap this video up. It's a mess. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to make another video this week, so we're going to get a lot more consistent. But I appreciate you tuning into this one, and yeah, wish me luck. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Well, I really wasn't expecting to add on to this video and continue to make it. I was pretty much done by the time this happened, but Charlie Kirk just died at the time I'm recording this, and how needless was that? Like, that's so fucked up to the point where it's like, I didn't really like the guy that much. I didn't agree with him on a lot of things, especially this past summer, but the fact that he had to die at the hands of somebody who was caught up in whatever, I definitely know that whoever did this was mad at him. They did it for the W in their mind. They did it because they thought that they were killing Hitler or somebody important. This guy was a talk show host that if you don't like him, you don't have to watch him. That was enough for some motherfucker to go out and kill him over nothing. And that's the type of division that needs to stop, because we need to unify against a common enemy, not each other. We need to unify with one another. This is getting to a point where it's unsustainable anymore. I mean, what next? What comes from this? That's the big question. Does it unify everybody? Or does it delve into chaos and degeneracy like it always does? Will nothing come of this? And then what happens then? It'll be up to the people. It was up to a person today to decide whether or not to kill Charlie Kirk or not, and look what happened. Do you have a lot of faith in people anymore? I'm really starting to lose it. I'm on my last nerve with this stuff. My patience is wearing very thin with people. I'm just going to leave it with this. We must either love each other or we must die.